One more?
This should be the one. Final day trial former. February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
This is the defendant lobby, all right. But there's no defendant. Been trying to reach Lena all morning. Where could she be? Okay. What did we just learn? And by just, I mean 2 weeks ago. Maybe more. We went to Gant's office.
Mm-hmm.
We...
All up in his business.
We, with the help of Gumshoe, got all up in the business. And we got up in his grill. We discovered that the place where we thought the bodies were might not be the place where the crime took place. I'm using the word place too many times. We discovered that there's some inconsistencies between the body, the way it was face down with a stab in the back with the victim underneath him. Right? And then the blood.
You brought that up, yeah.
True. I noticed
yes.
stuff that the game didn't call attention to.
Mm-hmm.
The game also did not call attention to how the vase, how this pot was on the wrong side of the room as well. The blood splatter on it with this photo indicates well enough that it would have been on Gant's side of the office to the right, not Lana's side to the left. We also opened up the
safe,
and inside of it we found a piece of cloth with Emma Sky's prints. We also saw the half of the evidence list, which he was looking at when we walked in, and then quietly tucked it away and hid it. On the back of it was a drawing that Emma drew
of her favorite Danganronpa scene.
Yes, and we discovered that night that that's what she depicted, but we were trying to match this placement with how the bodies ended up. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else? Or I think
there was a piece of the vase in the safe as well, right?
Yes, and with that, we were able to put them together and start to see this splatter, which doesn't look like just blood splatter. It looks like something being written, but we don't have all the information just yet. And I think that's about it before we got chased out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we got chased out. Gumshoe basically got fired. And
big trouble. And Emma stayed behind with Gant?
Well, he told Gumshoe, you're not going to be needing your badge anymore or whatever, right? He made a threat to him on the way out that basically said you're fired.
Yeah, leave your ID.
Exactly. And then there was also the crumpled letter of resignation we found under Edgeworth's desk, because he was basically planning on, committing political professional Sudoku.
I see.
Right? But he didn't do it.
No. He crumpled that paper, didn't submit it. But, feelings are still there.
And we used it to convince Gumshoe to help us. That's where that left off. Where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth.
Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is,
that is how we got into the safe as well.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out.
You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything.
True. Not yet.
In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty.
But she didn't do it.
I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say.
This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Well, Miles, just because you feel guilty about other stuff in your life doesn't mean that you can use the justice system to spank yourself in some weird, twisted flagellation ritual. It's fucked up.
It feels right.
Stop it.
It feels really right.
Furthermore, you're putting other people anyway. It's a whole perversion of the entire system, and now you're using it just because you have some other shit you want to get off your chest. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her.
The truth?
Everything goes back to the SL9 incident.
Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past.
We've been over this. It literally happened last time. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance to find out what really happened.
I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright.
Oh. Also, after all that new evidence was found, we went back to Lana and presented it to her, and she went, "Yup, you got it." And it seemed like it was to protect her sister, but then she wouldn't say anymore. So she was being uncooperative with us.
Because we did find Emma's fingerprints.
And then the threat was implicit, and that's actually where we stopped. Yeah, okay, there was one further step. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Yeah, defending defendants that won't defend themselves. It's crazy. 10 a.m.
On time.
You ate?
Yeah, court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Belly full? Coffee, drank?
I had 2 orders of bacon this time.
All right.
Big day, I can feel it.
There you go. Feels good. No excuses. No outside
disturbances.
Exactly. Nothing extrinsic. We are locked in, aren't we, Judge?
Oh, yes.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
Oh. Chief Gant. I'd like to believe that's how he appeared on the stand. He's not, but like, and the organ player is ready to play, and he's like, no, not yet. Hold it.
The bump. No? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Just Goku transmissions onto the stand. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Oje. Been back at the pool yet?
No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours?
I'm glad you asked. Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Instant transmission out.
What's this all about, defendant?
I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished.
Well then, what's your request?
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
Oh, damn it.
No! Lana!
Why?
Lana! Objection! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack the direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Oh my god! What the fuck?
Roll credits, I guess.
Damn. Justice, even when the accused are all... Everyone's against you. Nobody wants it. But justice must prevail. Fucking hell, man.
Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation.
You know, I always thought, like, the worst possible client would be the one that lies to everyone, including you, and just changes their story on the stand, and basically just makes it impossible for the defense to do their job by virtue of the fact that, well, you're just a piece of shit, and you don't understand consequences, so...
How about the defendant who goes, yeah, I did it, what?
Play it for the jury. Play it for the jury. Play it for the jury. Yeah. Getting pulled in on a RICO because I can play your music in court. And now we get highlights of like the head, like of you just kind of laughing like, yeah, that's my track. Man, yeah, I thought it was all pretty rough. But this is a brand new one. I didn't do it, but I'ma say I did. Now what?
Tough. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial.
Like, is this some sort of like long con so you can get in jail and take revenge out on somebody who's otherwise untouchable until you get to jail? Is there a whole jail arc season you plan after this and you kind of need to be framed to get in? Because if so, then blink twice. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing?
Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, no, you don't. You don't give me that win so easily.
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
Oh my god, I ain't taking your pity. I gotta prove that shit.
Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature.
Let's go. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut,
I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What's that now?
Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh?
To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony.
Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue...
I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
Damn. Take that, Dr. Manhattan.
Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant?
If you say so, Big G? Is that okay? Worthy. You'll live to regret this. Mark my words.
Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Damn. Holy shit.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
Okay. This noble Edgeworth dynamic is fucking interesting. As much as you get fucked over, it's like, no. Hold up. The truth.
Nothing but the truth.
The truth. The whole truth.
My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings.
Dark.
Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember, this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then.
He sure gave in fast. they had a little making the band P. Diddy stare down. Okay.
Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial.
Let's go.
Witness testimony.
2 years ago, I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
Oh, fucking onion head. God damn it, I forgot.
Yeah, you wanted to see that again.
I forgot about Parappa ass over here. Fucking Gantz ass alien chapter 1 son of a bitch.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor.
You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
2 years ago, I was waiting in my sister's office that day.
2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct?
Yes, she was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair.
Show the art.
I believe they shared the same office.
No.
That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage.
Hold it. The Sky, would you describe his haircut as Yee-yee-ass? For the court, for the record.
Yes, it was actually a Yee-yee-ass haircut, Your Honor.
Thank you. No further questions. A man.
Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer.
I mean, it's fine if you crop it from the top and you don't see where it's going behind, right? That's why he needs to kill you, so that you can't see the rest of it.
Joe Dark was brought in for questioning that day, on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up.
And it was a glass elevator, which means everyone could see his haircut. He was actually coming from the barber's that day. And the spree was all just to cover up the evidence of anyone who saw the fucking...
What a mess. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him.
Him.
Neil Marshall rescued me.
What was the prosecutor doing there?
That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
I almost forgot about Gant.
Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead.
And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in?
I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant.
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out?
Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but then just lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
Picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
Keep it going. This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost.
You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right?
Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help with the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died. Yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it.
This picture that Emma drew. That reminds me. Guess I should check the evidence again.
Well, anyway, let's continue. This scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us? The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
That must have been a real shock.
Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage. When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them.
It doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much as she can about...
I was waiting in my sister's office that day.
We're back in. Yeah, we're back in. Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence?
Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over. Turn it... Oh! What's this?
Why do I see the judge putting his hand up like, oh, like, shock?
Nani kore?
Yeah, exactly. like mouth agape. Dokkan.
Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it? That's the picture I drew.
Oh my goodness, look at the picture. This looks like Danganronpa.
Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete.
Incomplete.
These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
Why didn't you know that? Are you stupid?
Hey, yo.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in the case ever reached you.
What?
What? Updated evidence list. How does that feel, Miles?
Order! Order! But, Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed to me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
Into the logic realm we go. I like when the background fades out.
Mm-hmm. Time to think.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor?
Are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
That's spiral energy, Your Honor. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
What? Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. You got something to say?
I mean, Miss Sky, did you draw a two-page spread? Was this ready for Shonen Jump?
It's possible. Let's see.
He never turned it over!
This is quite revealing, Your Honor.
He never turned it over.
He didn't have the DS tech.
That
flip the evidence around.
We didn't have the power of dual screens.
You know?
If only we knew.
How can you blame him?
Damn. We needed dual destinies. We needed touch and blow.
Is something wrong?
Do you even have to ask?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Ukemi! And we're back.
There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing.
Oh. Oh.
Again? The return?
Bailiff, why did you start playing the music? No one requested it.
That's that thing.
The worms.
That thing that was dancing in the evidence.
The worms are back.
Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated in court record. Stop that music at once! Stop it, I say! Order in the court!
Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Did you draw that second one, or did Gumshoe just somehow just was like, I need some papers. Huh? That's an empty one right there. Inspiration. Cross-examination.
Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
It's a keyframe, practically. Thanks to that, though, she is able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Or a typical Netherrealm grab animation. And then they get back up and it's fine.
Don't worry about it. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago.
Enough of that! Tell me about the goddamn badger. Qualified immunity badger, please. Did you draw this picture right after the incident?
I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later.
Oh.
At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
Oh.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Sky.
And right around that time, we picked up some lunch lady and Neil's brother 2 or 3 days later. The memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
Silhouette from the light flash?
The flash of the lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows.
So you can't see who's who. Okay. So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue.
No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor.
You were knocked to the floor.
Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed.
Yeah. But this is the mind's eye being filled in. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. Man, every one of these cases really is like straight out of philosophy class, you know? Like, what if this happened and that happened, but at the exact same time, the power went out? You know, like the insane coincidences. And, you know, what if a body was found in a room by itself with a puddle of water? Right? What happened?
Yeah.
How? Solve it, Phoenix.
What happened after the lightning flashed? After that, I must have fainted.
You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place?
No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further?
What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here.
Anyway, this picture...
It's literally just said finishing the same thing on Edgeworth's side.
This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
Okay. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw?
Of course! This is the exact scene!
It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright?
Don't make me pull out the data, Mr. Edgeworth. Memory is the worst reliable factor in crime scenes. It is the easiest manipulated. No, of course not. Better watch out or he might find us some way to cut my salary. And once you misremember something once, you start remembering the time that you told the misremembered story more than the event itself. And that begins to replace the whole thing. So childhood memories that you talked about start to get replaced with the times that you told people about those childhood memories. You know?
And you're filling in the gaps with random BS. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives. So I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well. That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. Yeah. Now, the problem is that we only got that one look at the positioning of the bodies. So that might not be where they want us to go just yet, right? But like, the first thing that comes to mind for me is where they're standing and what we were shown to be the final position of the corpse. I mean, that is the window, though. Like the arch?
Okay.
That is the window. Fucking Edgeworth. Flip your papers,
Never
bro.
saw it before.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I don't have... Case closed. I don't have a way to call out the position of the body. So then we're not going to be going in that direction just yet. All the SL9 files are at the end of this list, so let me just make sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is all current case. Screwdriver still unused. We've been holding on to this for a minute. But this is from SL9.
No.
No, it's from, excuse me, AI 16. But Gantrik wanted it back. Everything currently SL9 related. This is SL9. Locker room we just looked at. More evidence. Blood traces. Okay.
Can you go back a page? What's the second to last item again?
This is the locker room.
Oh, floor plans, okay.
Yeah, alright. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were the shadows. After that I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. I could maybe present the other half to challenge that part of it. And piece it together. That feels like the right move to make. To go, what about the other piece? Because that was a joke about Gumshoe, but we didn't actually, like, lock it in. No? No. That's not what they want.
Dot, dot, dot.
So they do piece... Okay. But they stick them together, right? So if it was just a stupid Gumshoe joke, then they wouldn't have done that. So... alright. In that case... another place to go would be... What other details do we have about this moment? The victim's memo. This is the Goodman case, SL9. This is one knife wound within an hour. This is Goodman's autopsy. We want to look at the SL9 related files. Neil's autopsy. Stabbed in the back, punctured heart and lung. Knife tip was in the wound. Stabbed in the back. 27, male. Between 7 and 7:30. Single stab piercing the heart lung. Blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found was missing tip. Oh shit!
Oops.
Fuck, I clicked the wrong button. Ah. God damn it.
Wrong button.
No, I just wanted to look at it. No. Shit. Okay, stop. Present. Look at the file, and then don't present again. Joe Dark, serial murder, sentenced to death. Neil Marshall, last on the victim list. Everybody here. Yeah, just the case details. Okay. Let's see. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. Knife tip was in the wound.
What is the angle?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Well, this is vague.
Is it gonna work if I click here? The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken.
What? Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But, Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
So why would it already be broken if he's using it to stab?
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
No. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Oh! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
Objection to your objection! Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right. But what does this mean?
Objection!
The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken.
Objection! That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Objection! Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence?
You're treading on thin ice, right?
All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No. Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over the events that took place on the day of the murder.